some people try to trade their way to success, what you just described. Buy something, sell it for a profit, buy something better.
Yep.
Is that the way to go, or should people just buy good asset, keep them and accumulate a portfolio?
For me personally, I've been more of a trader. Because I'm in property, I've been able to see deals that other people might not be able to see. For instance, I'll give you an example. Once I was at a trade show and there was 200 people lining up in the morning to come and see a property expo, right? I thought, this is crazy. This is the peak of the market. So that next day, I sold the next week I put about 3 on the market, the ones that weren't that good, because when things are really booming, it's a good time to get rid of some of the shitty stock that you might have, right? Because that's when you want to get rid of that stuff. It's, when times are good, things sell, but when times are bad, sometimes it's harder to get rid of the not so good stock. For the average person, look, I believe their strategy should be to accumulate and hold would be the most easiest way, because the problem is with trading properties is that there's a lot of entry and exit costs. It can be at up to like 10% of the purchase price of the purchase price getting in with stamp duty, buyers agencies, selling costs, marketing costs. So that's something to be very wary of.
Yeah. So do you have a basic philosophy that underpins your property investment?
Yes, I like to buy when other people aren't. So that would be my number one thing that I've learned over my life, is that property goes in cycles, and ignore the media. There will always be a bad time. Like there will always be a good time, but there will always be a bad time. And I'd rather buy when no one's at an auction than when there's 100 people at an auction. Now that's hard to sit in the moment, because at the moment I'm like, if I was to buy something, I'm not looking to buy at the moment, but if I was, it'd be like pretty tough in Sydney, because it's going through a bit of a boom again. Like there was an auction yesterday in Surrey, in Paddington, where a unrenovated semi sold for $9 million in Paddington. Unrenovated semi sold for $9 million, right? $1.5 million over reserve. So that top end's really going bananas here. You know more about that than me. So at the moment, it'd be really hard in Sydney, because I can't see that property prices are going to come back a bit. I'm pretty much Sydney focused, because that's where I live. But I just find it hard to believe that property is going to come back at the moment with migration where it's going. You've got building starts 20% down year on year, right? So we're not building enough, Terry. That's the problem at the moment. Supply is clearly the problem in this market.
Yeah, well, the shortages of everything that matter in real estate. We're not building enough. There's not enough listings of properties for sale. There's not enough rental properties available for tenants.
Yep.
And that's putting that constant upward pressure on prices and rents.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got an Uber here today, and I asked him, I said, where do you live? And he said, Alexandria. I said, all right. He goes, but I'm moving. I said, well, why are you moving? He said, well, they're charging me $600 a week rent for a one bedder. They've just put it up to $850 rent for one bedder in Alexandria. I'm like, how do people live? It's pretty tough.
I know. And unfortunately, the politicians don't seem to have any solutions to the rental shortage, which they created. Yeah. But what you're speaking to with what you said earlier is about being counter-cyclical with your approach. I think far too many people get into property investment as herd animals, following the herd into a stampeding into a boom, perhaps.
Yep.
And it seems to me that's the antithesis of good investment strategy.
Let me tell you a story. Okay?
Okay.
So one of my clients is Harry Triggerboff, who's the richest man in Australia, is worth $26 billion. He said to me at lunch one time, he said, Tyron, do you want to know the secret to my success? I'm not going to say no, am I? Yes, Harry, what's the secret to your success? He said, Tyron, when times are bad, I buy land. By the time I get development approval, times are good again. So simple. Why didn't I think of that? Helps having $26 billion though, I guess.